infrastructure, as well as just how we're going to be moving forward and restructuring how we're building the paradigms of community within the future of work. So I wanted to just pop on. This is going to be a really, really short live. Go ahead and blink that off. Awesome. So this is going to be a short live. I basically wanted to go over just some things that I'm seeing continually come up in the coaching communities, therapy communities, mental health communities, and kind of a little bit of a shift on how we can start rethinking on how we're going to bring our business into the new community infrastructures, because I believe community is here to stay, but I'm also aware of a lot of the regurgitated things that we have as a coaching community, et cetera. Now, I will say first and foremost, I am not a coach. I am a serial entrepreneur. I own an organic salon and spa. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist, and I do a lot of field and energy work. And so there's a lot of people that are building these online businesses and really talking about coaching and money mindset. But someone and somebody needs to really allow us to go a little bit deeper about what we claim as these current mindsets and really start to reshape as entrepreneurs or as leaders or as visionaries, whatever vision it is that you have for this next step in co-creating this next future coming out of what we've gone through. To me, we are putting the capstone on this past experience and starting to build new. And while that is a mindset, the way that we approach it is very miscombobulated in all of these different communities. And what I want to say about somebody, and if you've ever experienced it, because I know I have, I've jumped into a coaching program or into a course, and continually we may, yes, self-sabotage ourselves, but the main leadership of that course or others that flock in that course, we see all these different memes about it's your mindset. And I'm here to tell you that it's not your mindset. It's actually not at all your mindset. Now, I am going to use terminology that a lot of different communities will profile individuals as far as what kind of mindset you may have, which has salience, which has resonance and vibrational truth when I say them. And you'll kind of feel what attracts you in the essence of the energy when I say these different mindsets. But today's short video is to go over some of these, what I'm seeing right now as far as the different spiritual downloads I've gotten, and where I see money and community building moving forward. And for a lot of people, it's not what you've thought. So let's start with some of these. I'm just going to kind of give three and then one subset of a mindset that when I say it's BS, what I mean by that is that we often forego and don't pay attention to the underlying trauma of why we self-sabotage ourselves. And so we try all of the spiritual mindset stuff, the affirmations and the manifestation. And these, again, are just processes. They're not personalized to you, and there's no room built for you to step into an ecosystem and really have the time to work through the small t trauma, which is mostly high achieving stress disorder. What I call that is just a compilation of small t traumas. It also can show up as ADHD. And so really what we're starting to look at here is as far as behavioral science, polyvagal nervous system, and true mindset work is belief work, right? Is really starting to look at ADHD as an ADHD response. It's an ADHR. It's an ADD response, or PTSR. It's a post-traumatic response. And we live in a universe where we're either in the cause or the effect of our life. Now, most of our whole life, we walk around in the effect of our life, which basically means that we are constantly reflecting and basically being triggered in these different responses all day long on how our perception is of the world. And so we are responding to our perception of our world based on beliefs, patterns, programming, etc. or we're living to the causal and we're not to the effect. We're living causal in our life, meaning we've cleaned up our perception, we know our truth, and we exude that. Therefore, we are living, and everything that we do is creating causal versus the effect of our life. So first and foremost, when I go through these mindsets, understand that most of them are in the effect of our life. We're constantly being ping ponged around in the effect versus being causal. That's a vibration. And so the first one is, which we know, is this scarcity mindset, which a lot of coaches say that we have. Now, there is a prototype to this of being one of lack, not really feeling like you have much money and that there's always a need for more, even though for many years, like I did, I made a lot of money. Like, everybody talks about six figures. Yeah, it was beyond that. But I still lived in that very scarcity mindset. It's this emotional state. So if we get to that small t trauma, it's that emotional vibration of that feeling insecure. But really, if we go even more underneath that, it is simply feeling unsafe. You feel unsafe and you'll never be able to be enough. So no matter how much you do, how much you make, how many courses you do, how many things you start to create and then fumble, it is the scarcity of not feeling secure. So I'm not going to talk about the opposite side of that and how I'm restructuring community so that we can get over the facades of all of these different terms that we use, but I'm just going to go through them so that you can feel the resonance. And then I'm going to give you a fun exercise at the end that you can go over to pull yourself out of the resonance instantly. It's the best self-hypnosis trick I know. Now, the next one is then the insecure money mindset, right? It's this boom and bust, boom and bust. Now, these are people that make a ton of money, they make a shitload of money, and then some way, somehow, they tend to go into a bust mode. And oftentimes that I find, this is the small t trauma of the relationship. So we're bringing that small t in through the different types of attachment styles that often root back to our relationship with our family. It also can be a relationship with partners. Any of those kind of feedback loops is that it breeds this lack of trust and feeling really unsafe. And oftentimes that then moves into our business. So we gain trust, we have all of this success, and then we have some kind of attachment type that attachment is not what you're used to. Somebody either did you wrong or took something from you. And so that turns into that buster boom, and that creates such a deep, deep insecurity. And that is the resonance of that small t. Now, the next one I also can past self, not current self, totally relate to, which is the rebellious money mindset. Now, at the top level, we're rebellious. Oftentimes, like I opened up this short live with, I don't believe in DSMs as far as ADHD. We create those so that the industry can make money. It is an ADHR. It's an ADD response, PTS response, PTSD. So it's not what happened, what's wrong with you, it's what happened to you, right? We hear that in the polyvagal community all the time. And so when we look at the rebellious mindset, that certainly was me, and I'm still very rebellious, but it's that we either don't want to be like our parents, right? So there's the small t. It's that you don't want to be like your parents, or you don't want to fail like the culture and the community that you grow up in, if it was in a poor community. And by gall darn it, you are going to be the complete opposite. You are not going to be a cookie cutter business. You're not going to do what everybody else does. So you are very, very driven to earn a lot of damn money. You are driven by money. Right. And so it's that falsehood of what is that blanket statement. And we see all these entrepreneurs and coaches and all of this, that this underlying T is actually what's creating that rebellious brand. But I do believe there are coaches and spiritual leaders out there that do carry that rebellious spirit, but are there to help you see the contrast to what you have been patterned to be and fit into versus what you can lash out and just absolutely be free to be your true essence and who you are. So there is a difference there. But these are driven to earn a fortune, but then only to lose it. That's where the small t comes in. And they often create a battle with how they make money. So here's a very, very interesting nuance. So you create a battle of how you make money. And this is what that means. There is a constant hypervigilant nervous system of always having to fight for more. You're constantly having to fight for your vision, your mission, and to reach your goals. But it's a very, very push response in the body versus open, living in your truth and allowing you to call that in. So those are the three main mindset things that I say that coaches throw at you and say that it's your problem, but it's really not your problem. It's the underlying resonance. And oftentimes there's one more subset behind that rebellion mindset. And that is really this poverty mindset. And it's a different type of rebelliousness, right? And that we walk around and we're really rebellious and we're fighting and we want to make a lot of money, but we go in and out of courses, coaching communities in general, but we feel like people owe us, right? So we're always waiting for that cop out at the end of it, of the 30-day money return or whatever that is, because somebody owes us. I can make a lot of money, but you owe me. So there's all these little pieces attached to it. So I say that to say, there is a huge wave of new businesses and creators creating communities right now. And on the surface, I want us all to be aware, because there's this different silos, right? There's the traditional communities that are go and make a Facebook group, leverage off of your group, get them into a small funnel, and then bring them through this lead funnel and all the way through your ascension plan, right? There's communities that are starting on wonderful platforms like circle.so. I am on XP, Experientify, for my courses. So I like to gamify to make sure that you get to your end result. And there's also communities being in Web3. And this is where I see the future going, whether you like it or not. There is an absolute infrastructure that is being built underneath us that will live in the future of work. And that will be integrated systems and creating the network effect. If you're not familiar with the network effect, it very much is making sure that as you in the Life in Bloom Guild, the word guild is what I named it, is because it is the very essence of the community that leverages the collective to grow their wealth and the community's wealth. Everybody's wealth grows together based on being hinged of leveraging everybody's strengths. So what I wanted to say about this is that be very careful about the communities you're getting into, from Web3 and people that will absolutely rip you off and take your NFT and run, to the traditional communities that start with this mindset jargon, and you get a little bit of relief because you're rebellious and you see another rebellion and you affinitize with them. But are we small teen our trauma with facades into more blind roads than self-sabotaging and get ourselves again? Or are we really understanding and studying and being studious to what is the infrastructure that's being built right now underneath the ecosystem of Web3? How will my business fit in that? And then how do I attract those people that is very, very firm with the resonance that I am and that I carry and that I want to build, which is the purpose, to help other creators build their own ecosystem so that they understand the new infrastructure that's being built, the complexity of it, making it a hell of a lot easier. So a lot of communities can on the surface look very cult-like, and trust me, I know what it looks like. Believe me, I know what it looks like. And these communities that are being built right now, it's much different. I will say the community I am building and others I see building I can tell the resonance. It's very much different than the overarching or overseen old religious, old guru kind of sage on the stage, right? To the now collective using the resourcefulness of the collective intelligence that made the rules, right? And so we're in this transition where we're creating, or I am creating, a prosperous community infrastructure. And it's without any dogma or any kind of controlling. It's mutual supporting everyone simply because we choose the financial system. We choose how to share that financial system. And what I'm building is a tokenized community. Therefore, you hold my coin, you hold the Bloom coin, and you get access to different levels, but it never goes away. And if you find that within the community, you're a community holder, you hold a responsibility to help rise that community in both consciousness, currency, and the collective wisdom that we bring to it. And so we're building and we're reshifting financial systems as a whole. Now, I can't get you into what I'm going to be doing some future workshops on right now on how you can protect your wealth and then how you can shift your wealth into this Web3 blockchain infrastructure. And no, I'm not talking about going and buying Bitcoin, but all financial systems are going to start to shift. And so when you think about your business, I want you to really start thinking about how am I moving and shifting my business into this new way of thinking and this ecosystem. And so knowing what I know, I'm taking on the responsibility and helping entrepreneurs understand how they can get ahead and grow abundantly, faster and easier in this new ecosystem. Because the fact is that we all will be in this new ecosystem taking care of each other because we choose to and because we see the value in each other. So we're going back and creating heart-based love businesses in this new reality where humans' needs are actually being fulfilled and they're being met. The very opposite of what we've been through in the last 2 years. And quite frankly, every single year before that, all the way back to the beginning of time, Systems are put in order to control, to program, and to ordinate over. And that's what we're leveling out right now. So you have to start thinking about, where am I at in that game? Do I want to play the infinite game or do I want to play the finite game? And so this is where we come together as a collective and really leverage each other. We build together, we heal together, and everyone thrives and prospers in the way that it was intended. You are coded for prosperity. And this is not talking about mumbo jumbo spiritual chat. Like this is not, I don't do that. I actually create a lot of satire in my communities about love and light, because it really is about love and light. But oh my word, the road there is, number one, it's paradoxical. It's a lot easier than you think. And it's really hard if you make it hard. But I'm here to show you the easier way, right? Get results, make more money, and have a lot of fucking fun. So with that said, we are all coded for prosperity. We've been programmed to believe that we're not worthy of what we have access to. We're programmed to believe that money is evil. We're programmed to believe that scarcity is real and that it's false, my friends. It's an absolute false narrative, right? And so to recreate this narrative, there needs to be one thing that needs to happen. And that is the shift that I wanted to kind of close out with today. Now, everything that I do is resonance work. And I really talk about what this is more so in my private community, but in my group hypnotherapy sessions, which I'm going to have some free workshops on coming up at the end of this next month. But when we really look at connection and how we're building new experiences, the connections that we make together, like even right now, or listening to this replay, are literally woven into our nervous system. They're woven into our nervous system and into our prefrontal cortex. So the experiences that you have weave into your nervous system and then start to work within your prefrontal cortex. And this is how we carry these experiences with each other, with us moving forward. wherever and however we go. It's remembering in the cells in the body this great love and appreciation for our growth together. And so really, to me, transformation all comes down to resonance, and it comes down to clarity, and it comes down to taking action. And so I think about it like the branches on a tree, which is appropriate for life in bloom, right? So it's this resonance works like the three different branches. Number one, it's relational neuroscience. It is the co-regulation that we need in order to come off Lone Star Island and onto Prosperity Island so that you can create the life that you love. No excuses. You have access, you're coded to do it. It's just being able to build the relational neuroscience. Go it alone, you will continue to self-sabotage. Go together, we build together, we heal together. Number two is it's the resonance of your intention, right? So resonance of neuroscience, resonant of intention. The way we do this in the Life in Bloom Guild is that we build focus on what you're wanting to do in your business. And then we build in the intention into group hypnotherapy sessions where you dial in individually and then we dial in collectively. This scientifically has been known to collapse time. Go look up Lynn McTaggart's work, Power of Eight, and how the collective neurocircuitry between all of individuals in the collective with that intention, both individually and as a collective, collapses time and speeds growth. What a win-win, right? And then the third is that momentum and creation. So when we come together, we get into the resonance, we get clear on the clarity, and this is actually what's helped us to move through the complexity of the layers that we need to do together off Lone Star Island and in a trauma-informed approach that's very, very geared towards purpose, passion, and prosperity. Right. And this then is that you become the creator. You are now causal in your life and you have shifted into no longer living to the effect of it. And you're no longer going up hills and valleys. You're actually starting to smooth it out. And you have a fun community to come back to and celebrate with and actually learn new stuff that's really future focused as far as where are we going in the future. I'm going to help you guys see that vision. But then we come in and we bring our frameworks and we personalize it to everybody so that you can get into resonance, really love it, feel it, and build the tension towards your future versus the tension of staying in your past. And that's neuroscience, it's magnetism, it's all of those things. But the one key missing piece here is that the lies that we've been believing with all of these different frameworks and gurus that have been taught, that's going away. The financial system that we know it as of today, that's going away. So the Life in Bloom Guild is made to really help you understand and capture so that you can create your kryptonite on what your genius profile is. And that first flow accelerator and then the group resonance is going to help you build much faster so that you don't have any hiccups as we move into the new community, especially in Web3. So I just kind of wanted to bring that into your awareness of, yes, some of these nuances around mindset and profiling are true, but the underlying resonance of it, of what you've been led to believe, or that it's your fault or you haven't figured something out yet, is actually bullshit. It's completely false. And I don't blame any coach. I don't blame any leader to have copy and pasted these kind of things, because I learn off of modules and models, and then I go back and I create the clarity and the resonance through them to make sure that I can help that person get to where they want to go faster and easier without all of the convoluted things. Less is more. We're shrinking our marketing in the new way forward. So I promised you that I would share just really, really, really quick neuroscience, going back to that resonance that I was talking about on how we create those branches of the tree of transformation, which is relational neuroscience. It's you self-regulating with me here, feeling my resonance, my proclamation of truth, but also my firm love, as well as the resonance of intention, which we'll go through right now, that then ties in the momentum and the creation. You being causal in your life and not to the effect. And it is the best self-hypnosis I know. and it is fast. You can use it anywhere, and it's incredible. So if you can just take a moment with me, and this works if you want to just pretend, you can pretend and create anything you want, because the mind doesn't know the difference. So just go ahead and become present. You're probably walking and listening and hopping on and hopping off, but please just take the next 60 seconds and do this with me. So go ahead and bring your hands to your heart. And I am so thankful for you being here with me today, whether you're on the YouTube live or on the Instagram live. Thank you so much for being here. And this is going to be, there's a couple different names, frequency trifecta. Sometimes they call it the 3Bs, but today we're just going to go with the 3Bs. We're going to keep it simple. So the first B is going to be coming into breaking these negative states of just this high energy state, or going into dorsal and being shut down. And it really comes through vibration and that resonance. And what's really interesting is that if you start anything off with a negative state or affirmations or seeking a goal, it will take you, my friends, listen to this, 4 times longer and 4 times more energy to just get to neutral, which is net zero. Okay. So if you want to go onto the fast track and really shift your resonance, shift your state, there's 3 steps in a matter of just 3 minutes that you can do just that. So the first one is through your body language. Now, we know through Amy Cuddy's work that this is an extremely great hack for, she's a behavioral scientist, how the language of the body allows the body to instantly go back into power and control through what she calls the power pose. But I just call in your body to really step into that body language and firmly stand on the ground or just firmly seated, to really feel that presence with your shoulders rolled back and feeling that confidence really coming in. Now, this shift actually literally reshifts your neurochemicals, all of your hormones in the body. It ups your oxytocin and your endorphins and gets the body into a state that it knows that it's about to tap into the ability to show up confidently, and it actually resets your nervous system. So when you adjust your body posture with power, right, including your tongue and your mouth just relaxes down, you automatically take over, and it brings the power into presence. Now, the next B is through breath. And breath is the chi of life, my friends. And it takes energy. It takes the energy in through us. And a lot of us struggle to breathe. We are meant to breathe long, elongated breaths, between 4 to 6 breaths a minute. Most people breathe at a minimum between 12 and 16 breaths. That cuts down our health. It creates tension in the body, and we don't get accurate blood flow to the brain, to the body, etc. So it's this energy that we want to bring in through the breath. And so I always start by resetting the breath with 2 strong inhales in and 1 long exhale out. So if you do it with me, it's inhale and do it again. Inhale 2 in and a long exhale. That just resets me right now. So breath has the power to reset your nervous system. It helps all of your monkey mind slow down. And in that smooth, elongated breaths, it actually starts to shut down your cortisol response. So one more time. And notice now if you can start to breathe elongated more through the stomach and not the chest throughout the day. Just doing the small 3Bs 3 times a day will start to readjust your nervous system. Now, the last B is belief. Now, this B is all about beliefs because they're basically just regurgitated, recycled thoughts that you have thought many times and you've chosen to believe based on cultural bias, inner self-talk, how you grew up in your family. We've adapted to all of these beliefs. We don't really know who we are. So the Life in Bloom process takes care of the root of that. But in order to start to readjust the resonance of our language is one of the most powerful accelerators to our transformation and creating the path of least resistance to making a hell of a lot more money, right? So if you say, I don't want to mess up, or I'm not sure people sign up for my program, you're going to mess up and you're going to send out the tone and the insecurity to your community that you're not sure if they should really show up. Versus, I am completely confident in my ability and the wisdom I've acquired, and I will naturally flow with the needs of the community at that present time. Brings me into the current present. It allows me to be ready and engaged for what that maybe future concept is, but I'm not trying to spiritually hijack with affirmations. Another way to think about beliefs and regurgitated thoughts is affirmations. Great questions create the multitudes of the prosperity of your life. So asking yourself the question of, why am I attracting so many like-minded people that are ready to take action and ready to see the future of work in a new lens, in a new way that leaves the old traumatized way that we used to hustle and do business to the new creator economy where we create our new financial system. The more people that get into that resonance, the faster that this old collapse of the financial system can happen and we can start creating. That's a different way to think about it. So with that said, you have to be present, and trying is lying. I won't means I don't care to. And so we have to really build the resonance of our language and start shifting that right away and become conscious of the linguistics that we use. So affirmations, asking questions about why you are so successful in your vision, your dream, whatever that is for you, relationship, and understanding that I can't means I won't. And so you're literally programming your subconscious. So the beliefs then, how can, through this short exercise, how can you change the belief of whatever that current trigger is or whatever that you're moving towards? So those are the 3 B's. And in today's video, if you go back all the way to the beginning, we talked about community, mindset BS, and how the future is going to be built, both on collapsing old structures and being mindful of where this new infrastructure of Web3 is going. And it's bright, my friends. So if you want more information about being in the Life in Bloom community, how we're building the first community coin, which is called Bloom, how you're going to get epic access to creating this resonance in the new infrastructure and really getting out of these old, this is my mindset, because anybody that tells you it's just your mindset is not really attuned to how to help you build complexity in your business, but then help you regulate your nervous system and get rid of these old ways that coaches and hierarchies and gurus used to tell you that you would resolve you getting to your 10K days. So all my love, all my light, if this was helpful for you, please head over to the Awaken Beauty podcast, where we are live on the Awaken Beauty podcast channel. And just go ahead and like and subscribe, and make sure that you tap a like on the live in Instagram as well. Thanks for being here with me today. All my love, all my light, my friends. We'll see you on the next one.